time to flip the switch to on. Spotlight on Vegas Business is back with Mark and Nicole.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Vegas Business, the premier business show you do not want to miss. Just a reminder, our call-in line is 702-221-7283. We have a returning guest, but with a different aspect. Russell Price was on previous on a non-profit segment with Heart Foundation, but he's with UBS Financial Solutions. So welcome back.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Right. So
It is great to have you back. You are definitely one of the financial guys with one of the biggest hearts I've ever met.
Thank you, Nicole.
We had such a great time interviewing you about the Heart Ball. You were the president of the board for the Heart Ball. Did I get that right?
President of the gala.
President of the gala.
Chairman of the gala, I guess. Would be the
Chairman.
appropriate, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Chairman sounds like a good name for a financial dude.
Yeah, thank you. I like that.
All right, perfect. But we're going to be in here to talk about what it is you do for business.
Okay.
So tell me, give me your right title, because it's an impressive title as well for UBS.
Senior
Wealth.
Vice President, UBS, and a partner of a specialty team that we started within UBS.
Okay. So I got a really interesting article that was sent over by our good friend Ruth with Image Words. You guys do a lot of surveying, polling, research with your clients, and not just about what I would assume. I'm not a financial gal, but I assume you're checking the stock market and figuring out what investments to put these guys' money in. But this survey was really about quality of life and what the fears, what the worries, what the concerns were of your clients. Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting because you deal with people that have a lot of wealth to manage, but the concerns seem to be the same thing as us folks that are hoping to work our way to have a lot of wealth to manage.
Yeah, I certainly believe so. One of the things that we found that most people are always striving to have more. And with that, when you start to, whether it's a salary, whether it's a net worth, whether it's your business succeeding, when you're striving to have more and you start to gain more, your lifestyle starts to increase. So high net worth individuals, and many people are feeling like they're stuck on this treadmill, if you will, that they can't really slow down to do the things they enjoy or follow their passions in life because they feel that lifestyle for them or their families will suffer. They also, in that same category, are concerned that they maybe have created too much of a lifestyle for their children, that their children don't have a value of money, that they take things for granted. So it was a very interesting survey, and one that we feel in our firm, because we're a true wealth management firm, that we could actually help them with through planning, through looking at not only quantitative goals, but qualitative goals. What do you want life to look like? So it was a really fun process for us to discover this and then actually go back out to our clients and say, are you struggling with these same things? And what we found, regardless of the net worth, regardless of the income, that everyone wanted to know really where they were going. I know where I am. Most people do. Where am I going financially, and what does my life look like when I get there?
Yeah, how much is enough?
Absolutely.
What's the impact going to be on my children? Are they going to be happy and manage it well? How do you take that aspect with having someone that you're managing their wealth and they have children involved? How do you help them figure out whether their kids are going to do well off with whatever legacy they're building for them?
Certainly. Well, it starts with our discovery process. So our discovery process is really in-depth, and a lot of times takes about 2 hours. We like to do it with couples if that's the situation, and we like to understand what they're currently doing for their children, what do they want for their children, what are the values they want to see their children take on. So that can start with everything from education planning. It can start with, for the wealthy, a backdrop of, okay, I want to make sure that my children always have health care.
Okay.
So you can structure things in a way that even when you're gone, that they have that. Grandkids, we get into that discussion. One of the things that we've also found with the value of money and respecting others and charitable, going back to our charitable work, a lot of times we push our clients in a way or advise them in a way where private foundations. It really allows the kids to understand what passion their parents have, the creator of the wealth, how they can help the community, and through that they learn a lot of the hardships of others, so they start to really appreciate what they have. So that's one of the things that we've seen work best for some of our wealthier families.
So a successful legacy that you're helping folks create isn't just what the number is on the bottom line of the financial statement. It's really about what culture they're creating for that family.
Absolutely. You know, one of the biggest help to this in recently has been Paris Hilton. No one, you won't walk into a room and someone says, "Boy, I really want to create a Paris Hilton," right?
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, where's the spin positive?
So parents are coming to us, or grandparents are coming to us, and they don't want to create this private welfare for their children where they don't have to push themselves in life, that they don't have to work, that they don't have to earn, and respect themselves from earning, right?
Okay.
So that is a lot of conversations we have with people. They don't want to create this, but they also want some of that to continue. They want to see their work benefit the future generations. A lot of times, we talk about where you're giving them an education. They have your name. You're doing a lot. Now, what beyond that, quantitatively, do you want to do for them? What do you consider a backdrop for them? And that goes into a real planning aspect. It goes into working with some of our great estate plan attorneys here in Las Vegas and structuring what can be done with wealth after someone passes away by the future generations.
Do the kids ever get involved?
We encourage involvement by kids. It was just reading an interesting article on one of our celebrities, a celebrity that recently passed away, and he has a movie out now, American Sniper.
Okay.
One of the things that's going on in his estate, that he had made reference that he wanted all the proceeds from his movie and his book to actually go to help these families that were suffering, these veterans that were suffering. That wish is not being met by his wife, but it was never documented. So one of the things in the article was suggesting that had that family been pushed together, had that, and I'm not accusing the wife of doing anything wrong,
right.
She's just unaware of that commitment or that desire that he had, and it was never put in writing. It was never discussed with the family as a whole. So we typically try to structure meetings for our clients that they are talking about what they want. It's very difficult for people. A lot of these are baby boomers, come from a generation where you didn't talk about money.
Right.
What you earned and what you had was no one's business. So, but there are a lot of wishes that people have, and they're, especially when you have blended families.
Yeah.
You might have, a family from the first marriage, kids from the first marriage expecting one thing, and a second, third wife in some cases,
right.
as the case with Robin Williams when he passed away last year. They have different, they have a different take on what was supposed to happen.
And maybe more even than just an opinion on what people behind left that they want, but really what I find more when someone is gone, they talk more about, well, Dad would have wanted this.
Yes.
No, Dad would have wanted that.
Yeah.
So to have that group discussion could be incredibly valuable, not only for retention of the wealth, but, oh my gosh, retention of the family cohesiveness.
Absolutely. We always use the line, you want everyone still sitting at Thanksgiving when you're gone.
Yeah.
And so we try to set these meetings up. We try to build the agendas for the meeting. We try to take it through a slow process, a defined process that the family is comfortable with.
So I had a question originally for you for why would someone want to use a service sitting down in front of you versus someone online? Gosh, that's really kind of it. There's not probably an online survey that you're going to have all your family get in front of the computer and be like, click, 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 click.
Yeah, managing wealth is much more than just managing investments. And when you see online, and the new term now is robo-advisors, right? You can have money management for a very low fee. What we do is a pure wealth management take on things, that we're not only doing the investment management, but we're also looking at the wealth management, understanding cash flow from tax strategies, understanding charitable giving, legacy planning, transfer of assets, those things. Those things become very valuable because if you mess those things up, not only can they have financial consequences, but you can have, family consequences where siblings aren't speaking to each other after you're gone. And most people don't want that. Most people are very adamant about what they want when they leave. What we do is try to understand that better by having a very detailed process, pulling that out of them, and then start to structure conversations with family members, start to put legal documents in place to achieve that.
So understanding whether your net worth is worth $100,000, $1 million, $5 million or plus, that what we're all really looking to have happen with what we're working for is money, bottom line. It's really not the amount of money. It's the quality of life, the quality of relationships. And that's huge. I don't think you're going to find that with robo-advisors.
No.
Not so much.
No, I don't think so.
Definitely not.
But you're absolutely right. It is the quality of life that people are looking for, and that always reverts back to a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you are, where you're going, and a lot of times advisors can help people get there.
Mm-hmm. Do you see folks sometimes that you see them working so hard and they're working out of just because they don't know when enough is enough? Is that something that you can do as a financial advisor, give them more of a perspective, see that forest through the trees for them?
Absolutely. That's one of the main things we do. And again, that starts with that process of discovering. And a lot of advisors just focus on the quantitative aspect of the discovery, right? This is how much I need a year. We actually want to understand the qualitative. We want to understand what does your ideal vacation look like? What does your ideal weekend look like with your family? Because we know from the survey that most people want to travel. They want to slow down so they can travel and spend time with their family, pursue their passions. So that we spend a lot of time in our questioning, our discovery of our clients, understanding what that means. Then we quantify it for them. So ultimately what we are finding when people go through that process, they are finding that there's either light at the end of the tunnel or they can start to do some of those things with their life. And that's very rewarding for us as partners in our firm to be able to see that happen for people.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the moments where you've known that you've done a really good job? Is it the pictures that you see from your clients on Facebook of that dream vacation? Is it the kid graduating from school? What are some of those moments?
And this will sound pretentious, so I'm going to do it very. I have a very dear friend of mine that sold his company about 6 years ago, but he's still running the company. He was struggling with the fact that his kids were growing up. He missed a lot of that, which is very common with high net worth individuals. He was seeing other people take these ideal vacations, and he really wanted to pursue that with his children. He did. He and his wife planned. It was a great trip. It was with the spouses of his children. It was with grandchildren. They took an ideal vacation. I've never seen him come back so relaxed and so happy about what he was able to do. But at the start of the process, he really didn't understand if he could afford it, if he could take the time off. So we call in this article, millionaires on a treadmill. Mm-hmm. He was really one of those millionaires on a treadmill, worried about spending. So we were able to kind of sort through the trees and say, this is what it looks like. This is what you can achieve. And he came back just very refreshed and very happy about the memories that he built with his family.
Well, that didn't sound the slightest bit pretentious. I think you must have left part of that story out, Russell.
That sounded
fantastic.
I left the net worth out and some of the aspects of the trip.
Do you find that when you're having conversations with normal folks like me, that you can get lost and not really get the heart behind that commonality, that heart behind every one of your clients, whether, like I said, whether they're on the high end or the low end, that we all really just want the same things, and it's kind of the same formula for each one of us.
It really is. It really is. And do we get lost in that? I like the fact that we're able to pull our clients and build, due to our experience and due to our approach, we're able to build that relationship very quickly with our clients, and we're able to really get to the heart of what they're looking to do in their lives. And it doesn't matter if they're just starting out in their career. It doesn't matter if they're finishing their career or they're a business owner or they're simply a W-2 employee. It really is all the same thing that people are looking for, some guidance to get where they want.
Great. Well, I really enjoyed your article. It just came out on May 29th. It's Wealth Treadmill Has Millionaires Feeling Trapped. We will definitely post a link to that on Facebook. It's just a really great article that no matter what your net worth or what your goals are, where you are at in the process of planning your finances, planning your family legacy and your quality of life, that you can get a lot out of it. So Russell Price with UBS Financial Wealth Management. Did I say that right?
That's UBS Financial Services, so you were so close.
Gosh, I'm trying so hard here. It's out of my genre, but I really do enjoy having you in. Just as much of a pleasure having you here talking about what it is specifically you do for families under your business, as we had talking about the heart follows.
Yeah.
Great having you.
Thank you both for having me.
So for folks that would like to contact Russell, what's the best way to contact you and get more information?
Yeah, we are always available through our website, which is ubs.com, and you can search for my name, Russell Price.
All right, perfect. Russell Price with ubs.com. This is Nicole along with my co-host Mark. We're going to shake that money tree. This is as much as I know